content over everything.
Set up the
we on?
It's so freezing here.
So I got a person who can actually give us a little bit more insight about the coronavirus because you have participated in the protests in Hong Kong.
Yes,
correct?
I do.
And you know, she knows some things that people might not realize about the coronavirus nowadays. And it's actually a possible theory of what might be going on in China because a lot of information isn't being leaked to the West. You know, would you like to say anything about the coronavirus? What's going on there?
Oh, sure.
How it originated?
Yeah. So, wow, where should I start to say? I think I may will get a trouble from China, but it's okay. I mean, you can.
I mean, don't say anything if you don't feel like you know.
No worries.
It's gonna be safe for you.
It's best I just say what was my opinion from I read the news. Like, I mean, I think I having a high probability to believe this virus is made by China Communist Party from their lab in Wuhan. So the reason is below. First of all, like actually last year and this year, Chinese Communist Party, or I will call China. Let's say
Yeah,
call
the
China.
Communist Party.
Communist Party is facing a huge few issue in China. First of all, is financial issue because they having a contract deal with USA, like which is China have to pay like few billion dollar to buy the food product from USA. So but they don't have that enough money for pay for it. Then USA is rise up the tax to China. So that's why so many factory is starting leave China. They move to the other
countries,
other countries, which mean Chinese people or Chinese manufacturing is facing a huge financial problem in China, which is like they will. And the second one, I think, like protests in Hong Kong, like because I read the news that the first case is happened like last year October, which is this is high wave of Hong Kong protests. But look at that. After the virus outbreaking and it's very efficiently stop Hong Kong protests. Look at this few months. Hong Kong have no protests in Hong Kong recently. Right now, yeah.
There's no protests.
Yeah, and also, because virus is everywhere. So Hong Kong people.
There's like videos. Sorry to interrupt. There's videos of sometimes people getting out of the tube and they're being captured by the police immediately. There's rumors that might be because of coronavirus, or it might be because those people were protesting in Hong Kong. Have you heard of any of those?
Videos? I heard it.
Know if that happens.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to talk. Because so because of virus, everyone have to stay at home. So police can having
isolate people in their homes, and they can eliminate the people they don't want.
You're right. I agree your point. And third, the reason I think this is from my opinion. I think what if because this virus is happening all over the world and China can use this reason to get a lot of donation from the world. Like they could get a health donation from WHO because which is like is like a global crisis. So every country have a responsibility to solve them. So that reason China get a lot of money, but but think about it. Do you guys really think this money will solve the violence in China? I don't think so. They actually did that. Those money is saving the Chinese Communist Party, the financial problem from them. Also, I think that the last point I want to say is about Donald Trump. People said about if USA, like let's say Donald Trump government cannot really efficiently to solve this violence problem, he gonna be having he will not he would not buy select next president election. Yeah, because he cannot handle really good of this issue. So as you can see, also Taiwan. One more, Taiwan. Because 2 months ago, Taiwan election got won by Tsai Ing-wen, which is anti-China party. So, like you could see, Hong Kong and Taiwan is already not. China can't really handle Hong Kong and Taiwan, or also facing a huge financial problem, international problem to them. So what's the best thing what is the best solution to save China is violence, because they could just outbreak, and Chinese people love travel, and China can. Because China is a communist party dictatorship government, they could hide the number. They could hide the number, hide the
news. With a complete grasp over the media and over the means of communication,
exactly.
They can easily do it.
So you can't. Also, one more thing, WHO is pro-China. You could say, the beginning of this violence happened, the CEO of WHO say, "Oh, this is nothing to be, it's nothing to be serious. It's gonna be okay. Try doing the good job." But nowadays, you see the number of the world, Italy or something, is rise up so quickly, and also we have not vaccine yet. So which means it's really dangerous. So general all of the point I saw, I really truly believe I truly believe this violence is made by China Communist Party, because last word, China Communist Party, by the history, they do everything. They can do everything to achieve their goal. They don't care how many people die. Yeah, which means
as long as they can hide it, they can achieve any goal.
Which means if they burn, you burn with them. We burn with them. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's we just talk about it.
Okay, let's
it's not necessarily like a presentation beginning end.
Too formal.
Good job.
It's quite nervous. It's the first time on camera. Yeah.
Nice. First time on camera. That's,
first time on camera.
Good job. But yeah, look, I heard a few different theories about what's going on, and yours was particularly interesting because I never heard it before, and yet it makes sense. It makes sense that something like that could happen in a communist regime where they can basically hide everything from the whole world.
Yeah.
There's plenty of videos getting leaked now of people getting literally locked in their houses in China.
Yeah,
exactly. And they have iron metal bars on the doors, so they can't escape. And then there's more than that. There's people on their windows shouting, screaming for help. Desperate.
Yeah, exactly.
And it gets even worse than that, because I've seen some videos of people, in the usual clothes, in the white bag clothes, those that should prevent supposedly contamination.
Yeah.
Walking around the streets with guns, with machine guns, with with all kinds of weaponry. And then people sometimes, with masks, getting tied up and walking in a line, all tied together, in a straight line. There's plenty of videos all around it. All it takes is a quick research usually to find out those videos. it's pretty frightening because obviously the things that we are being told by the media right now is not the whole story.
Yeah, of course.
There's definitely a lot more going on there, and I've heard some pretty scary figures about large numbers of contaminated people in China. That it's a much bigger amount of people than is actually predicted. But your theory is very interesting again because it makes sense. Right after Hong Kong, right after the Chinese were relatively they couldn't simply quash it with military strength. They couldn't just exterminate all the people because Hong Kong was so in front of everybody. They couldn't hide it if they started exterminating people there. But it's possible that they might have started the virus to be able to isolate the whole population and pinpoint specific people they don't like and then kill them and say, oh, it was the virus or they were resisting or whatever reason. It's much easier. It's a much easier option. But I've heard other possibilities. The mainstream one, of course, is that the Wuhan seafood market had some seafood and people were eating it and people got sick because of the animals because they were eating raw meat or raw seafood and they got sick. That's one of the that's the mainstream version. Another theory that I've heard is that actually Americans might have started it. Now this one is a bit conspiracy theory like, but then again we're delving a little bit into conspiracies. That America, the best way for them to ruin China would be to completely ruin their economy. And the best way for that would be to start a virus in China. So that the products from China would not be bought by anyone. I mean, nobody wants to buy a product from a country that's suffering from a large epidemic of a disease that's very easily transmissible, right? It would be a collapse of the economy.
Oh, I gotta tell you one thing. Because this theories came up like very new, like last week. I gotta respond your first argument. Like, you said like, let me generalize what I'm going to talk. Like, okay. First of all, I talk the strategy of locking people in their home.
Yeah, it makes a lot
of sense. And then I will respond. Okay, what's the economic collapse and future of China? So. If you want to lock the door and China can free efficiency to kill anyone against them. Okay, you're anti-China. You are the person who reject me, or you're anti-communist party.
They can even say that you're resisting the containment of the contamination. They can say that, and we're trying to contain the contamination. Why are you resisting? They can even use that excuse to a certain extent.
Yeah, exactly. So they could kill a lot, like most of people who reject them, and China government can say, oh, because they got a virus, so they die. No one know, as you see in this few weeks, in the number in China already stopped it, and also you cannot see, like how many people get infected or how many people die or how many heal. They already know. They don't give you a shit. They don't report anymore.
Of course, the figures will always be very,
So it maybe take time. It's also like a winter in China because they, as a manufacturer, will die, will close, and the economy will like that. But they are just cleaning the rubbish for them. They clean the rubbish, and okay, I will respond the economic problem to you. So you asking me, so no, China is they will die, many people. Don't worry, they have 13 billion people, and after that they clean up the rubbish who have critical thinking. They don't like this government. They clean up. So what is left? They only left the people who worship Communist Party. So people who just working, eating, something. So all those people is a good robot.
Yep.
And
almost like a natural selection made by the state.
And in this period, Communist Party just like CCP, he haven't shown up this few weeks. Just like CCP, sneaky hiding somewhere, and let this like a battle finish, or you clean up the rubbish or clean. CCP will show up like a god. Oh, okay, now virus is over, so people all die. Okay, well, so like that, and he will show up like a god and say, okay, now we should, we should save our country. I give you let's carry on or work together again. So people will just, oh, okay, CCP or Communist Party is going to come again, and they were not thinking because they just facing to like because they just suffer the problem. Okay, I'm survivor, so I need to be more slavely to Chinese Communist Party.
Well, yeah, of course, it's very
I-
nice to be here and saying, oh,
Yeah.
you know, you gotta resist, gotta go protest. It's difficult when they literally can invade your home, take you
Yeah.
with guns, you know, and maybe shoot you in an alleyway.
Exactly. So it's just
not
like
as simple
I don't know
there.
how to say it. It's
It's
like
not
a
as simple at all.
psychological mind. It's like how to
There's
say
a real danger of
Yeah.
getting killed. Or maybe
Yeah.
even worse. And you
They
might
ha-
ask
they
what is
have-
worse.
I remember
You might
they
get
have,
tortured
they
there.
have some psychological phenomena called Stockholm
Stockholm syndrome.
syndrome, like,
I see.
and then they don't worry about the economy of China in the future because new China could be more dictatorship and people could be more like worship Communist Party because once they through this crisis, they pass on this crisis, they were just thinking, okay, I gotta to work. I want to build the new like a world factory, and people will shut the fuck up and work with Communist Party.
Yeah.
And also, Communist Party will deal with the other countries. Say, oh, look at that. USA, UK, I give my worker is much cheaper than before. My factory, my land is much cheaper. Come to here. People can work like 24 hours per day.
Yeah.
Don't worry. We don't care. They just
Yeah,
want
there's-
to
there's,
feed them the grass,
exactly.
feed them the tree, feed them the leaf. They can survive. And we still have 10 billion people. And they,
Yeah, there's
it's
also
it's a business world.
plenty of proof, plenty of videos that there's
Yes.
not a lot of safety
Yeah.
protocol in China. People get hurt all the
You
time
know-
on factories because there's just no safety. They're just working there basically as slaves.
Yes.
They're expendable by the
Yes.
government. The government doesn't care about them that much.
Exactly. So, this different makes sense. And then, how to say, like, okay, so as a commercial world, like people all talking about benefit, and UK and USA or Europe, people say, oh, they're much cheaper than before. Let's move back to China. Let's make iPhone again. I don't care. Fuck pollution. Let's give all pollution to China. They don't care. Yeah. So the cycle is over and over again. Look, listen, if we don't stop this evil communist influence, China influence, we're going to suffer another violence. That's it.
I agree. And I'd like to say something else that people might think that the things that we're saying here are very hard to believe. Well, they're not as hard to believe if people look into history and look what happened before with communist regimes. For example,
Yeah.
the best example that I think of is in Ukraine, when all of the food of many towns and many villages was simply confiscated, and there wasn't really any excuse given. The overall excuse for the Soviet Union, in case somebody noticed what was going on, in case somebody started complaining, was that there was starvation in the Don region in Russia, in other regions, and they needed the grain. But the real reason was that they simply wanted to exterminate as many people as possible in Ukraine because they did not want to make part of the kolkhoz system. They did not want to make part of the collectivist system that would take away all of their production because most of Ukraine was about farming, about production of food.
Yeah.
It's still known as the breadbasket of Europe. And in those days, it's simply ridiculous to believe that mass starvation happened by accident. It was all orchestrated. And nowadays, Russia still does not accept it as a genocide, as an actual extermination made on purpose. Why? Because they hid it. The Soviet Union didn't show it to anyone. Nobody knew what was going on in Ukraine. Nobody knew it. And even if they had some glimpses of it, it was very, very little. Who could have done anything? I mean, the Soviet Union was completely closed. They didn't care about international opinion. They could do whatever they wanted to their own people. In China, it seems to be relatively similar. They can do whatever experimentation, whatever things they
Yeah,
want there,
yeah.
and nobody can do anything about it.
Yeah.
So, I think people should should do their own research also about the coronavirus, because it might be something completely different than what we're being told on this specific occasion. I don't usually delve a lot into conspiracies, but on this specific case, it's very possible that a conspiracy might be what actually is the truth.
Yeah.
It might very well be. as it is. Because there were also lots of rumors what actually caused it from the beginning. Some people were saying it was bats, some people were saying it was seafood, some people were saying it's this, it's that, it's this, it's that. It's all very uncertain. There's a lot of uncertainty there.
Yeah.
There's a guy here on Speaker's Corner. His name is Heiko. I wanted to talk to him a bit about this, but he didn't really want to talk about it too much. I wish we actually spoke about this a little bit, because he was talking about the ways of stopping contamination here in the UK.
Yeah.
He was saying in China they were doing a much better job stopping the contamination. Well, that's relatively arguable considering how quickly it spread, right? But how do you think people should act here, for example, from now on?
I think, like, I saw a lot of wow, I get offense a lot of people, but it's okay for them. But to be honest,
No problem,
I think most of the Europe, I don't know, like most of the Western, the European have a lot of fantasy of China, like.
What they think happens there is not actually equivalent to the truth of what actually happens.
As we talked before, like,
yeah, I agree,
because they just don't like capitalists, or they don't like America, and they will turn to have a wow.
They don't like America. America is capitalist. They assume China is good because China is against America.
Like, I mean, they mess up they mess up real communists or China communists. Like, it's two different things.
Yep.
China communist is just like a slogan. It's lying to people who worship to the China government. They don't work any about communist theory inside China actually.
Yep.
If they think about it, if they're working really well in communist theory, why so many Chinese immigrate to the other country? Maybe 13 billion people, 1% of them, they're China Communist member, who everybody, like, look at CCP, look at the daughter of CCP, Xi Jinping. Oh my God,
Xi Jinping,
the
leader, yeah.
Trouble a lot, but
it's okay. You can say it in Chinese. People will probably understand.
Her daughter study in America, and the highest China government member, they all get the other passport, Australia, UK, or USA. They
probably so they can run away if things get sour.
They don't give a shit to China. They don't care how many people die in China. So I think I have to read.
It's a monopoly for them.
Yeah, so that's why I think people need to stop the fantasy. Oh, wow, China is strong. They get a lot of money. I wish I could work in China because I could earn a lot of money. No, maybe you could earn a lot of money but think about it. Would you like to live in the country who have no speech freedom, no internet freedom, no knowledge freedom? And what if you say something like about politics? Maybe you will get a lot of trouble. So would you want just earn that
with the social
money?
Credit system,
to sacrifice those freedom, where you could get it in your country, your motherland. So, I mean, people have to stop the fantasy of China, and also
fantasy of socialism.
Socialism, yes.
I think it's a very popular fantasy nowadays with neo-Marxism, neo-socialism. People think it's just great, it's amazing, everybody's equal, blah blah blah. Well, it doesn't work like that in practice. It simply doesn't work like that.
Simple.
It's just that people on the top oppress the people at the bottom when lying to them that they're all equal.
Yeah.
It's just not how it turns out to be.
I mean, I think
all the promises.
I cannot do physically. I can't do like anything to let people know what happened in China. But I will.
That's all right. The very fact that we can speak like this is already something, because people will see it and they will make their conclusions. They will think about what's going on. They will have new ideas about what's going on,
Exactly.
and hopefully some people will bring themselves out of their delusions about the grandeur of communism and how amazing it is. Because, truth be told, lots of things. There's lots of problems, and people in China are suffering.
Yeah.
And they can't really do much because of it, because the government oppresses them.
They can't even have been educated to think about what is my right. So what exactly they can do, because no, they all suffer by the whole society from they're born to the earth, they born or they grow up, they don't know the right, maybe
Because they've never seen anything
because
but what they get. They've never seen people actually getting freedom of speech.
they don't have this freedom. When I check the history in WeChat, like people some showing in social media, they think this virus is made by America. They think
that's one of the theories. Yeah,
one
it's
of
one
the
of the
theories.
theories.
And also
It's probably
in the-
one of the theories that will be popular in China. The government will say it was the Americans that tried to mess them up.
Exactly.
I mean, it's possible, but it's not the only explanation to the situation. There's many different things that we can possibly say. Sorry, go ahead.
So this is very how do you say measurable, because like they just need some more government to say. They could just read everything from government. Anyone who share the other news who not really on government side, they will immediately to delete. Yeah. So like I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I know the world cheating China like a golden chicken. Wow, the golden chicken can have a cold egg, but I mean that's the
China did have a very fast
Yeah.
leap in terms of its
Yes.
economy, but it was all done on the back of their people.
Yeah.
It was all done on the back of, or because of the lack of safety in the workplace, because of the cheap labor, because of all of this stuff, the propaganda, the complete
Yeah.
control by the government. These things have a price. The quick economic expansion of
Yeah.
China has a price.
Has a
That is the price, and their people are the price that they paid.
I call this is trade off. Because
Yep.
in this past 10 years, like Western culture or more civilized country could, China is
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
good worker, hard worker, cheap salary, like cheap land, and also who fucking care the pollution. I'll give you an example. Like Apple company will like earn a lot of money because they having really cheap costs. They could have a cheap cost in China. Also, if they having a lot of rubbish or the trust from the rubbish, they could send it back to China. China take over all of them. And what's the deal with the Western country to China? They say, okay, I take over all of your shit, but you just shut the fuck up of my politics.
Well, yeah, the governments basically don't really
Yeah.
care much because they
Yes.
get cheap stuff and they get good
Yeah.
deals with China.
With China.
And the people, unfortunately, it seems to it seems like there's this romanticism of socialism, of communism, that it's great, it's amazing.
No.
There's huge prices that need to be paid, and people don't understand that. People, I see people,
think
prancing about how they have a course on China, how they went to China, how they saw China. They know everything about communism. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's great. That's what we need to do. It simply doesn't work in history. That's not what history tells us. And every single time I speak to people from a socialist country, I spoke to many people from Venezuela. I asked one of them to come here, but he's a very busy man, and also he's a little bit afraid, honestly,
Yeah.
because he might go back to Venezuela. And I really hope you won't get in trouble for saying any of the things that you said.
I think it should be okay, right?
It should be okay.
I am
should
doing
be,
right thing.
Should be alright. Should be alright. Here you should be alright.
Yeah,
At least this. Look. But I spoke to many people from different countries, socialist countries, and it just so happens that most of them don't really like the socialism. They don't really like it. For some reason, they go to other countries to work there because the quality of life is better, the wages are better, and simply put, you can't complain if something goes wrong. You can actually ask for help. You can actually expect help. Now, it seems like in China, you do something, the government doesn't like it, that's it. You're fucked. You can't do anything.
Yeah,
You have to grovel at their feet all
agree,
your life.
and I agree. Yeah, of course, in past 10 years, the
complicated.
foreigner came to China, of course, because maybe you guys have a special skill or English. Obviously, it's because we English. How you say? Yeah, you could get really good.
Yeah, I
treatment.
heard many people who are
You
going
could-
there to
you-
teach English.
Yeah,
China.
you could have a really good treatment in China.
Talking about
But-
the coronavirus.
But but yeah, this is like you make China grow a lot, but but actually by the fracture only the really minority people can become rich, become and that
The
those
growth
of,
is
those
only
of
for a
people,
few people, for a few selected
is
people.
Communist
On the
member,
top of the Communist Party, yeah.
and popularity nowadays they going to invest Africa or South Asia. With people which call One Belt One Road, and they will set up the
As we spoke about the film
Yeah.
on YouTube, Empire
Yes.
of Dust. It's
Empire of Dust, yeah.
It's a very interesting film.
and they set up the military everywhere, and military everywhere. But you know they because like CCP or how to say global world make China go that way, but they are not governed by democracy, so they could have this power military one after they conquered most of the world, so they could do whatever they want maybe. So like I just want to say we are too naive to see China. We are too naive. It's not that easy. Yeah.
Well, I agree with that. It's not easy at all when the government is
Yeah.
hiding stuff. That's
Yeah.
fulcral
It's
to
not
the whole
that easy.
situation.
Yeah.
Lastly, what would you think that people here could do, either to in a way know more about China or help China, or even to to deal with the upcoming virus? What do you think people should do about it? About these things that are going on now? Because the virus might make the issue in China international more than anything, because of its fast spread. So people need to care at this point. People need to know more about what's going on in China, because they're literally being pulled into the situation of China with the virus. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, but I have nothing. I know nothing about biological. But I will.
As far as we know,
it's
a virus that gets transmitted.
I will take advice
Airborne.
from the UK government, like UK Health Organization.
Yeah.
If they said announce
they can
like
be trusted.
everyone must have a mask, I will take a mask. But in UK, I think it's okay.
I think they're trustworthy.
It's trustworthy, yeah.
Relatively trustworthy.
But this virus, we have to face to this. We have to admit that this virus is already over the world. The number is going to increase. You could see East Asia country. In China, they already locked down so many. The city like Japan,
A literal
Korea.
lockdown.
We already no more. They have no more fight to travel to each other. So. Yeah, and in this few weeks, you could see in Europe, Italy, or Germany, the cases rise up a lot.
Especially Italy.
So I think, so I have no idea, but I will take advice from UK Health Organization to have a official advice to the people here, and I will follow the structure to do. So in a way, again. How to say the structure of China, and how they run in the country, how their attitude to the world is totally not fine. Because they just have money, and let's see, China already can control WHO, WTO, those kind of world organization. But think about it. Because those organizations is the authority for the whole world, for the whole world of people. Once they pull China, and once they given the information is not neutral, we all suffer. Yeah, look at the case from WHO. So I mean, yeah, please, like I want people have to think more fair for the whole world, not just
I think what
especially
people-
the World Organization. They shouldn't say something good or bad. It's because they got the benefit from some country. Yes.
I think what people should do, the potential first step for everybody, for the common folk such as us, especially here in England, for example, is to research more about what's going on. I think that's the first step. That's one of the most important things. And I think it's very important for people to not just take me up on my word, on what I'm saying, or not take her on her word, and see it for yourself. Go to LifeLeak, go to Documented the Reality, go to, even if it's 4chan, you can even see these videos on 4chan. Do a little bit of research on these websites and you will be shocked. You will be very shocked. I even saw a thread, I think it was on, was it on Pinterest? Something like, some website like that. Like many of these videos, all after the other, one after the other. And it's shocking. It's a lot of stuff going on that nobody's talking about. You know, if you only pay attention to the mainstream media, you'll know nothing of this. Absolutely nothing. Not a single mention. And it's it's a bit frightening. But it's a good thing that some people, those people in China who are passing those videos and are letting them to be seen, are very brave people, and I have a lot of admiration for them because they're literally risking even more than just their life for the whole situation. Because there's worse fates than death. If you are captured, if you're interrogated, if you are tortured, it can be even worse than death. It's some terrible thing that can happen. But yeah, thanks a lot for discussing about this. I think it's good to have a person who's a bit closer to the whole situation, who knows more about it.
Yeah.
I think it's very good to have a person like that.
I know. Yeah.
Anything else to say to finish up?
Oh, I think it's pretty much. But by the way, I had a lot of philosophy question I want to ask you.
Oh, go ahead.
Instead of that, yeah.
Sure,
but
go
we could just. Well, we spent a long time here, so
no, it's okay. It's okay. It's these guys have been here for like a few hours, so I think we've been here for half an hour, maybe a bit more than that, not a lot more.
So which means our our conversation will be fully on the YouTube channel, no cut.
Yeah. It's most likely gonna be uncut on YouTube.
Wow.
The whole conversation from beginning to end.
It's gonna be 10 hours.
No, it's not.
6 hours something.
No. Look, it's cut, but it's not. The conversations don't get cut. It's cut between conversations.
Ah, okay.
That's how they usually do it on COE. They see, okay, this conversation is about this thing. This is gonna be one video of, for example, 1 hour. And then that conversation ended, new people arrived, they had a new conversation. That's going to be another video of maybe 30 minutes.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's going to be something like that.
It's pretty good, yeah.
But yeah, you'll see it on YouTube. It's not very difficult to find. I might send it to you.
Yes, okay. Yeah.
Content over everything. From your humanity.
Man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV. Listen.
COE.
Man, don't listen to BBC.
The same rocket to go to Mars.
I just listen to COE. I don't listen to BBC. I don't listen to ITV. I don't listen to
I've been wondering about something. The Earth rotates, right? The Earth has an atmosphere, and the atmosphere rotates with the air. That's what originates the Coriolis effect. That's why, when I jump up, I don't end up on another spot because the Earth rotates. Because the atmosphere is also rotating. Exactly. It's with the Earth. It's all moving together.
If we stop the atmosphere rotating right now, it would
smack the whole Earth. Yeah. It would wipe it.
What is it? It's something like 1,600 kilometers an hour around the
It would be a
equator.
worldwide disaster.
And in London it's about it's like gravitational bound.
Yeah. Yeah, so
It's
so
big.
you're in a car, you're driving in a car, right? In a bus, for example, and you jump up in the bus. Yeah.